In the continuation of Rajaguhyata, Bhagavan is trying to now show the fallacies of the human mind or the antakarana, vishesha, savishesha antakarana issue. We have, all of us, as a general, an understanding that the world may be having some controller, some niyanta, somebody who is doing the regulation or control of the universe. And it's a very old concept. Right in the beginning of evolution, if we look at the Purva Vedic or the Adi Manava stage also, there has been a reverence to a power that may be existing somewhere which is superior to mine. Initially, it could be the lightning that strikes from the top. If we look at the Egyptian civilization, they have a god called Ptah, P-T-A-H, Ptah. Or they have gods which are controlling every activity of us. So the whole concept of mankind is that there is some esoteric power that is existing somewhere and that is controlling us. We know nothing about the power. So the better way is to worship the power so that she is not displeased with us. We offer prayers, we offer our all ablutions, we prostrate in front of that power. This has been the general scheme of things from beginning as far as development of human thought is concerned. And many religions which ultimately got codified in the similar manner, enunciated by the higher minds or so-called prophets of that particular religion, more or less also spoke in the same or the parallel lines. However, an in-depth approach by a very systematic way of progressing the consciousness has only been developed, documented, and proven by Sanatana Hindu Dharma. To be proud of our religion is not because we are a religion. We are proud of our religion because it had shown the way, not to us, to the entire mankind, through a systematic doctrine. If such an almighty force is considered to be Ishvara, then he will never be seen by us. Why? Even sky completely you cannot see. And he is mightier than the sky. How can you see him? How can you feel him? How can you touch him? How can you comprehend him? Because everything is big, 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 big for him. To this extent, every religion has progressed. The father of the sky or heaven, the Almighty, the name itself is Almighty. But such an Almighty can come in the form of a 6-foot human being or 5.5-foot human being. It's something only the Sanatana Hindu Dharma has spoken about. The most powerful almighty force of the nature, called by different names as Father, as Almighty, as Ishvara, as Ahur Majda, as Sachri Akal, all that is fine because it is speaking about the magnitude of the mightiness of the Lord. But to see the same mighty Lord in such a diminutive figure of 5.5 feet, बूंद समाई सागर में जाने हर कोई, सागर समाया बूंद में जाने बिरला कोई. Even our most pious representative Arjuna was also deluded because he thought Krishna is my friend. I've been seeing him since childhood. Entire Mathura, Dwaraka, everyone, save except the gopis and the Radha, everyone thought that, yes, it's a blue-eyed baby, very nice, very attractive, playful, wonderful sense of justice. No one realized that it is the Parabrahma which is compacted in that small murti called Sri Krishna Bhagavan. And that is why how to know me or how to see me is extremely difficult, is what the Lord is trying to tell Arjuna. Arjuna, whether I come in human form, they think I am human. When I am not in human form, they say I am incomprehensible. God, 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 in what form it is? He is everywhere, but it is not seen. He can be in one body. It is called avatar. That is considered as a human being. He cannot be seen. He is the creator of everything. He is so mighty that it's beyond my intellect to comprehend. This all happens because to know him precisely the way one should know him is called jnana. To know the Lord precisely the way the Lord is. And those who do not know in that manner, they know him in some other weird manner. This weird manner or abnormal way of perceiving God is called avajananti. They know, they think they know, but they know in the most negative manner than what they are expected to know. These mountains, these Himalayas, these mighty rivers is Lord only. Avajananti. Either you are in a state of ajananti, you don't know itself. Why? Your antakarana is not at all developed. You are a stone. You are in the yoni of a stone. There is no way of you even thinking about Lord. Why? There is no antakarana expression. The Chetana, Vikasa is not there at all. As a Chetana Vikas happens in evolution, the animals are definitely superior to the stones. However, still they cannot comprehend because they cannot even comprehend present, past, and future. How can they comprehend the space and Akasha, Avakasha, and something mightier than that? Because all this requires a flight of imagination. Flight of imagination is pratibha. Pratibha is nothing else but buddhi in its excellence. Buddhi in its excellence can only come when you evolve as human being. However, even in the highest evolution of me as my Chetana, Arjuna, human beings, they are still not able to stretch their intellect, make it soar so high so that it becomes prajna. They remain at buddhi level only. The buddhi never takes the wings of pratibha to become the prajna, as a result of which my nature is never known to them. And on the top of it, instead of admitting that I don't know the nature of Lord, they say, I know the nature of Lord, and this is the nature of Lord. That means a wrong has been shown by them as right. That I am not is shown as I am by these people. That is why I call them avajananti. They know me in a weird manner. They know me in a manner which should not be the way to know me. Avajananti mam. Why do they do that? Why it happens? Because mudha. Mudha means deluded. Delusion and hallucination are two different things. When nothing is there and you comprehend something, it is called hallucination. I'm sitting in my cabin, everything is brightly lighted, and suddenly I see a ghost. The ghost is not there. I see it. It is hallucination. But in my room where I am sitting, there is a stand or there is a rope lying on the floor, and I think it is snake. This is delusion. Wrong perception on a thing that is already existing is delusion. Wrong perception on a thing that is not existing is hallucination. So we do not hallucinate about the world, we delude about the world. That's why we are a deluded soul. In Sanskrit, the word for delusion is mudha muhyati. Muhyati, mudha. Ye tanmasa vasadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam. The flesh of the women is not a flesh but an item of beauty. The flesh existing is existing. It's a upadhi, but it is perceived as the beauty. Delusion. Mudha. Similarly, Lord Krishna was born to Vasudeva, and then this Vasudeva's son came and did some war, and then he was a very nice person. Avajananti. My true nature, Guru, our own Gurudev. He was Mr. Balakrishna Menon, he was born in so and so, he went to Himalayas, did Avajananti. Moment Gurudev descended back from the place where he was doing his final meditation, he was no more even Swami Chinmayananda. He was Parabrahma itself. Avajananti Mudha, what the Mudha call? There was a person called Balakrishna Menon, he became Swami Chinmayananda. Avajananti. And why do they do that? Because they see me as a 6 foot tall person who studied in Lucknow College, expert in English, and also pleased to play lawn tennis, etc. Tanum ashritam. They saw my body. I took an upadhi as my body. The electricity entered in the tube light and the light was there, and everybody said tube light gave us the light. Tube light did not give the light, it was the electricity. But those who do not know the electricity, avajananti, tube light as the source of light. So that is how avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashritam. Maybe in the animal kingdom, some animals may be calling another animal as God. We don't know. Maybe all the animals of the jungle, they must be calling lion as God. Why? It is most powerful. Avajananti manushimni pranim tanum ashritam. Similarly, because Bhagavad Gita is for human beings, manushim tanu ashritam param bhavam ajananto. Param bhavam. Why not only param? Param ajananto. Higher. Bhavam saguna brahma. Upadhikruta chaitanya prakatikarana abhivyakti. Sri Krishna was abhivyakti of Parabrahma. Sri Krishna was not a vyakti. Sri Krishna was abhivyakti. Similarly, we are not vyakti. We are abhivyakti. Dvara abhito jagati stravantu. Through me to all the world. Tube light is what? Abhivyakti of the electricity. Once the abhivyakti is because of upadhi is known, and when the upadhi is thrown away, what remains? Only electricity. All tube lights disappear. What remains? Only till electricity. Param bhavam. Param in the nirguna nirakar. Bhavam in saguna sakar. My param bhavam, because my saguna and nirguna are only two aspects of mind. They are not different. Those who are bhoot, for them bhavam is required. Because bhutam, beings, can only approach me through bhavam. So first saguna puja, and then bhut and bhava, when it is disappears, only param remains. Param bhavam ajananto. Mama param bhavam, Arjuna, my that highest nature is not known by these people. And once they know, what do they see? They see me everywhere. Why? They become me. When the fan becomes the electricity, then there is no differentiation in different fans, different tube lights. They're all expressions of electricity. It is electricity's standpoint. From standpoint of view of electricity, you look towards the world. From the standpoint of Parabrahma, when you look towards the world, what do you see? You don't see Upadhi. When you see from the standpoint of Upadhi, what do you see? All Upadhis. I am Bhakta, he is Bhagavan, I am Mr. So-and-so, I am Vaishnava, he is Shaiva. The standpoint is from Upadhi. Upadhi Kruta Abhivyakti. Upadhi Rahita Abhivyakti Chaitanya. And that is why we do require the idol, but to mistake the idol for God or the form of Guru to be the infinite is to mistake the container for the contents. Kabira, kuwa ek hai, pani bhare anek. Bhande mein hi bhed hai, pani sab mein ek. It is the shape of the container that has changed, not the content. A Sufi beautifully says, Ism pe kane hone wala, the one who gets deluded by the shapes and the names. Ism pe kane hone wala aur musamma khone wala. काम न करने वाला मूर्ख नाम से जी बहलाए. So it is the upadhi that creates the difference. Once the upadhi is gone, the job is done. भला हुआ मेरी गगरी फूटी, मैं पनिया भरन से छूटी. Gagari फूट गई, that is upadhi is lost. There is no need to do pani bharana. Samsar is then not required. And that is why, how do you get into this trap? You get into this trap because of mogha asha, mogha karmana, mogha jnana. There is a triad of mogha. Mogha, the word is come from muhyati, moha. The original meaning of muh, or muhyati is useless. And gha means fencing, containing. So useless fencing is mogha. What is useless fencing? How this word means something? Useless fencing means, what can you fence in this world? The consciousness, the Chaitana. When the Chaitanya in the form of applicable Chaitana gets restricted by the fencing of the Upadhi, it is called Mogha Ven. The water of Ganga should be flowing freely in its ultimate expression, but if the dam is built on it, there will be a stagnation of the water. Similarly, the body of any person or all the bodies, nama, rupa, are nothing else but the bandhana for the consciousness, which is called as useless fencing. So that is called mogha, mogha asha. And such a useless fencing of Chaitanya, which is a human mind, Antakarana is the fencing of Chaitanya, because my human mind or Antakarana cannot express the Chaitanya fully. It is minimalistic expression. Whatever we are doing, great things in the world, including Nobel laureates, is a minimal expression of Chaitanya, because the sunlight is too much. Windows are very short. Antakarana is the window through which the light comes. The window is short. Somebody has a little larger window, but at the end it is window only. When all the windows and the walls are destroyed, then the full sunlight comes in Atma Darshanam. Till that time, based on the limited supply of the Chaitanya, limited availability of the Chaitanya, whatever you do is bound to be restricted to the applicability of that particular Antakarna to the outside world. So then what happens? Such a Chaitanya which is in the form of Chetana getting expressed through the limited mind, then it gets converted into what is called as Ichha Shakti, restricted to the things and objects around us. So it becomes a Mogha Asha. What should be the desire? The desire should be to destroy the windows so that the whole sunlight comes in. Instead, based on the short stream of light that is coming through that window, in that light, whatever is there, the whole play is being played around there. That is called as restricted usage of Chaitanya or Chetana through the Antakarana, which is basically Mogha Asha. Because you have a limited application of Chaitanya leading to the limited desire, I want to possess a good wife. Limited desire. There will be limited karma, because desire leads to karma. Then you start working for seeing a suitable bride. Karma. And since this application of the Chaitanya, when it happens through the Antakarana, it leads to what is called as Vritti Jnana. When Chaitanya gets applied on any particular thing in a restricted manner, it leads to Vritti. If the Chaitanya, Surya, is in its original form, then there is no need of application of sunlight anywhere. When sunlight, humongous sunlight, is restricted through a small window and is then applied, it is called Vritti. So such a Jnana that you get is called Vritti Jnana, which is nothing else but just a limited, minimalistic application of the consciousness, which includes knowing a car, knowing chemistry, knowing physics, knowing theory of relativity, is nothing else but a relatively short application of consciousness, Chaitanya, Parabrahma or Atman. That is why that jnana is restrictive knowledge, mogha, fenced, useless fencing. Mogha asha, mogha karmana, mogha jnanam, because it is vritti jnanam. And why this is happening? The reason itself is vichetasaha, consciousness, chetas. Chetas is minimalistic application of Chaitanya. When Chaitanya gets an upadhi or an instrument to express itself, it is called chetas. Chit, chaitya, bandha. Chit, antakaran. Chaitya, consciousness. Combination of this, which is nothing else but the limited application of consciousness, is nothing else but misdirected application. Vigata chetasaha, vichetasaha. Vigata, that application which has gone in the wrong way. And then what happens? Such a wrong application either leads to tamoguna or a rajoguna. Those which are utilizing that consciousness for tamoguna are rakshasas. Those who are utilizing the consciousness for transactory world for benefiting itself from the world, it is rajogunatmaka. Then they are called asuras. When it is done in a sattvic form in this world, it is called sura, rakshasa, asura. Sura is a gradation of application of consciousness through each guna. Any desire, activity, jnana that is predominantly dominated by tamoguna, it's called rakshasika activity. By rajoguna is asuric activity. By sattva is sura activity. When sattva is in its highest form applied, then it becomes devagana. And when no gunas are applied, that means there is no application of consciousness, but our consciousness remains only by itself. It is Parabrahma. But these three applications of gunas are because of what? Guna itself means Prakriti. What is Prakriti made up of? All the three gunas. So that Prakriti, which tempts for this application of consciousness in a limited manner through Rajo or Tamoguna, is called Mohinim Shritam, Upadhi Adhishtita Vritti. And that is the reason, Arjuna, then they start calling me as a Purusha. Then they do not recognize my particular nature. And they think that is the Jnanam. But the Mahan one, those who are great, Mahatmanaha tu Jnatva Mam Bhutadim as Avyayam, by knowing me as imperishable in each, dwelling in each of the beings, Bhajanti Ananya Manasaha. And when that is possible, to only and only worship me, Daivim Prakrutim Ashritaha. Daivim means Sattvaguna. Those who moved from Rakshasa to Asura, Asura to Sura, and now Sura to Devagana, because of continuous diminution of diminution of Tamoguna and Rajoguna and continuous rise of Sattvaguna, they get what is called as Daivi Guna, divine qualities, which are nothing else Sattva Guna. They only become Mahatma. And these Mahatmas, only they can understand me. The desires in the intellect order the types of thoughts in the mind. When desires gives rise to futile thoughts. And that is why when you read, when you understand Arjuna, unless the application of what is read in Bhagavad Gita or anywhere else is put into the practice of individual sadhaka, it is otherwise useless. As Gurudeva says, by fondling the milk bottle, the desire for milk cannot be satiated. Fondling with the empty plate and the fork and the spoon does not mean you will remain, you will be completely satisfied with the food. You have to eat the food. Shola ratte लब पर आँच न आए, एक चिंगारी लब पर रख लो, लब फौरन जल जाए. Keep one spark of fire on the lip and you will know what the burning is. But by saying fire, fire, fire by the same lips, nothing will be known. पोथी पड़पड़ जग मुआ, पंडित भया न कोय. ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के पढ़े सो पंडित होए. Application. That is why Nanak Maharaj says, नाते धोते रब मिले तो मिले मचिया डुडुयानु. If only taking bath, snanam, is going to give us God, then the frog should be getting it because he's always in water, frog and the fish. नाते धोते रब मिले तो मिले मचिया डुडुयानु. जंगल फिरे रब मिले तो मिले गाइया बचियानु. किताबा पढ़े रब मिले तो मिले मुल्ला काजियानु, पोथी पढ़ पढ़ जग मिले तो मिले ब्राह्मणा ज्योतियानु। रब तो उन्हानु मिलिया भूलिया, जिन्हें दिलिया सचियानु। The one who is having Daivi Sampat can only get it. So Arjuna, there are two issues normally the sadhakas have. One, they do not understand how the whole Almighty can come down into such a small figure and present itself in front of you for the sake of welfare of all the people. Paritranaya sadhunam yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. Arjuna, when I come, I do come. They don't realize that I have come. Why? Because they look at me as a human being. Because for them to understand that that huge and almighty thing has come in such a small form is very difficult for them to understand. And the difficulty comes mainly because of the Prakriti. She is a Mohini. She deludes. तिरगुन फासे लिए कर डोले बोले मधुरी बानी, माया महा ठगिनी हम जानी. Tiruguna Fase, with the help of Trigunas, she's putting the noose around the neck. That's why Arjuna, they don't understand. So unless out of these Trigunas, Rakshasa, Tamoguna, Asura, Rajoguna is completely not taken care of, there is no way the Suras will come out of it. Sattva-guna Prakarsha will come out of it. Unless Sattva-guna Prakarsha is there, Sattva-guna Pariposha cannot be there. A Sura cannot become a Deva. And Deva is one who is having Daivi Guna. Such a Daivi Guna described in 16th Adhyaya, all of them, then automatically propel you forward to know my nature, becomes easier for them because of the ability to concentrate. Now you are able to concentrate on me by neglecting all others, and this is applicable to all. And that is how you come to know that all these are Nama Rupatmaka Bheda. Everybody is nothing else but me and me. That means the consciousness, which Gurudev aptly coins a new word, spiritual socialism. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is the only dharma which professes, which practices, which preaches, and which actually does spiritual socialism. That's why Gurudeva's sentence to be kept in mind. True children of Hindu culture who understand the divine principle as the source of all beings cannot but respect every other member of the society as they would every other member of society, not every other Hindu member. It's a very high principle. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is miles ahead. There is no differentiation at that level. Not to be deluded by the slogan mongering that is happening around. The pride is for what we are. The pride is not for what others are not. The pride is for what we are. Hari Om.